If D and I tie, we go to D, right? Would that be your take?
Well,
so realistically, if there's not a better one.
No. If they're tied, they're even.
Right.
So they're going to relate to S and C.
That's easier to write than having to build another 4 separate funnels. I told Jeff, like, the only concern I have with this is, will they fill out the 18 questions? Right? That's the unknown.
Well, I found most people really enjoy taking the test. The only thing I want to do is stop and get a bottle of water if I forgot my water jug. So I think I'll drive down Apollo Beach Boulevard, go out to the beach, show you some of the mansions out on the way, and then cruise around, show you the subdivision that kind of started the whole company. So for years and years and years, we toured this town with an aerial map. It's like a 4 by 6 foot map, aerial map of the town. And back then we'd have laser pointers, we had a wooden stick with a rubber tip on it. And we had labeled the map with little letters, and I had a corresponding legend over here. And for years, I'd get a customer in the model center, and I'd go to take to the map and say, this is where we are, and this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to see. So I've been doing this for a long time. That's Harbor Point Business Center. That was kind of cool. I bought that land, and it really wasn't ideal. And then the buildings we're in now came up for sale. So I did my first 1031 reverse exchange. So I sold this property and did very well on it. When you sell commercial property for a gain, you have to pay tax on it. But the government wants to encourage you to reinvest your money. So if you use all of your proceeds from the sale, you can buy another piece of property, exchange it without having to pay the tax. So it's a pretty good deal for investors. But there are a lot of rules, so talk to your real estate agent before you start playing that game. And this is Apollo Beach Boulevard. It's the heart, the corridor that runs from 41 to the bay. So I'm just remembering now, after 25 years in this town, 26 years, how many of these houses we've sold. Now this is just exciting to me. I've been in this market for 28 years as a salesperson, and the market really grew fast. From 2002 to 2006, we literally doubled prices. And my ego stepped in and I said, finally we've arrived, people know what we got here. And then the market just totally crashed and went down. And reality sets back in. And we're not even back to those prices yet here in 2018. For the last, I would say, literally 12 years, there was no new construction around. Because you could buy an existing home for less than the cost to build the house, not counting the land. But of lately, in the last 2 years, the new home construction's back and they're building these mansions. And they're just beautiful, well-built, super neat stuff. I just got a report from Century 21. They ranked all the offices in the nation on how many transactions they closed, and how many sales volume they did, how many agents they have, what their per person production is. And I have a little competitive streak in me, and I like to win a lot of categories. We are number 1 in the Southeast. We did 2,700 and something transactions last year, which puts us like number 12 in the US. So if we hired them harder and really just dove down, and to my dad's point with the art of real estate, if we know what their strengths and weaknesses are, then we sit down and inspire them to create what we call a primary aim, where they set a vision for what they want their life to look like in the next 5 years. And then we go through an exercise of how much money would it take to create that lifestyle, to fund that lifestyle. And everybody starts out kind of modest, but in this business, if you do a good job and serve your customer well, you can do a lot. I mean, it's not uncommon for some of our agents to do 3, 4, 5 transactions a month. That's 36 to 60 transactions by one agent. Because if you engage, we have many opportunities for you. The things we've done to support the agents who are really busting it is we created that, we call it the PA system, or it's our personalized assistant. Because I suspected that when the market picked up, which it has now, that our agents that are engaging are going to be limited by the amount of transactions they can do, because they got to do the follow-up on the transaction. So we hired a team of licensed people who are really good at following up the administration of the paperwork. So we came up with the concept of the agent's job is to find buyers, find sellers, put them together, pass them off, and do it again. Dad had become a real estate developer. He started doing little projects here and there. and ended up landing in Apollo Beach and bought a subdivision called Symphony Isles. It's an 83-acre waterfront subdivision. To get Symphony Isles going, you had Symphony Realty Development Company, and Symphony Builders. So the development company put the roads and water in, the real estate company sold the lots, and the building company built the houses. When he bought this, there were these 5 townhomes and those 6 townhomes, and that was it. There was nothing else in here. And the street we're driving down now was supposed to be all townhomes, tracks of townhomes all the way down the street. Dad found an architect out of North Carolina named Don Evan, and he created this double diagonal zero lot line product, which is what we just started here. So my first job, I would work for Symphony Builders. I showed up for my first day at work, they gave me a shovel, made me scrape slabs. And Dad says, I made you do that because I wanted you to learn that there's something, you don't want to do that for the rest of your life. So go to college. So I went to University of Florida and just had a ball. In my 3rd year, I got my real estate license. And that summer I made $7,000. So I transferred my 4th year to USF. And Dad said, get your broker's license, graduate with a business degree, and you can have half of the real estate company, which is called Symphony Realty, which was really me and my mom. You know, we were talking about the nuances, the hard part of real estate. And there's really nothing hard to the real estate agent because we've been around it and we know what's going on. But watch this. So I wanted a new TV for my house. So I go to Amazon, I see the TVs I like, I get the measurements, I measure the hole, I say, it's perfect, I need a 75-inch TV. So I Amazon search 75-inch TV. Well, there's UHDs and there's QHDs and there's 4Ks and all this other stuff. So I start reading reviews and I go to consumer websites and start reading about, do I want a Samsung, do I want a Sony, do I want a this, do I want a that? And I've got no flipping idea. I'm now more confused than I was in the beginning. I end up going to Magnolia, the store in Best Buy, talk to a kid who takes me over and takes me by the hand literally and says, this is a Sony, this is a Samsung, this is a Vizio, which one do you like? And explains to me that it doesn't really matter what the TV is, this is what's more appealing to you personally. And then we talked about the nuances, and you need the 4K cable or you're not going to be able to watch this, and is your Blu-ray player compatible with 4K? And all the stuff I never would have known. And then, you know, of course we started talking about real estate because I always talk about real estate. And this kid's 26 years old and I'm telling him thank you for coaching me through this. And I got my Century 21 shirt on so he knows I'm in real estate. He goes, you know, I'm looking at buying a house. And he says, you know, just like you're complimenting me on helping you choose a TV, I would never think of buying a house without using a real estate agent. You know, just like I'm helping you figure out the nuances of buying a TV, I would totally expect you to help me figure out the nuances of buying a home. A thing I went to called the Keys to the Vault. It was Keith Cunningham. You seen me play some of his stuff. He's the guy who says, let me put it on a bumper sticker for you. Mm-hmm. Priorities are what hits your calendar. That's helped me a lot. If it's on my calendar, it's getting done. I got list upon list upon list of shit I got to do. But if it's on my calendar, that's what I'm getting done today. The to-do list, I got to-do list for December I went over that has shit that hasn't been done. And it hasn't hit my calendar. So that's kind of a little lesson I learned from that. This was a cool line. Fall in love with your customer, not your product. Why love something that won't or can't love you back? Your customer.
That's a true statement.
Isn't that good?
That's right. It's a good statement.